Should I tell my girlfriend that she smells bad down there? So I, 28M, have been dating this girl, 26F, for about 5 months now. Things have been going smoothly. She's funny, smart, affectionate, and we've been spending a lot of time together lately, including staying over at each other's places. Over the past couple of weeks though, I started noticing a really strong, unpleasant smell coming from her private area. At first, I thought maybe it was just a one-time thing, but it's been consistent even though she showers regularly. I know hygiene can be a sensitive topic, and I didn't want to embarrass her or make her self-conscious, so I tried to ignore it at first. But it got to a point where it was hard not to notice. I talked to a close friend, without giving details about her identity, just to get a second opinion, and he suggested I mention it gently in case it's a health issue like an infection or imbalance. So one evening when we were alone at my place, I tried to bring it up as carefully as possible. I said something along the lines of, "Hey, I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but I've noticed a bit of a smell lately. Maybe it could be something medical. I just thought you should know." She immediately got really upset, said I was disgusting for even noticing, and that I must not like her anymore if I'm saying things like that. I tried to explain that I wasn't judging her, I genuinely thought it might be something she'd want to check out for her own comfort and health. But she got dressed, left my place that night, and hasn't responded to my texts or calls since. Now I feel awful. I didn't mean to hurt her feelings. I was trying to be honest but respectful. At the same time, I can't help but wonder if I overstepped or if there was a better way to handle it. NTA, I mean, it could be an infection or something she needs to see a doctor about. I'd rather have someone tell me so that I could deal with it. It could develop into something worse if that's what it is. Exactly my thoughts. I wasn't trying to be rude. I just figured if it were me, I'd want my partner to tell me instead of letting it get worse. She's probably embarrassed and it's likely medical. If she'd gone a while without sex and once you guys started doing it a lot, it'll throw off her balance down there, leading to all sorts of fun stuff like BV or yeast infection. It's not her fault but also not a fun thing to hear. BV is the worst because it's really rather symptomless as opposed to yeast. I've never had a yeast infection, but I have had BV, and I would choose a yeast infection any day over BV. And the best part is now we know that BV can be passed back and forth. Both partners should be treated, however most men are not. Yeast infections too, and men are often asymptomatic. I had an ex who kept giving me a yeast infection over and over, and I didn't know until I was pregnant that men can harbor it. This explains why my ex kept getting it.
No!
Yeast infections suck so bad. You itch and burn when peeing.
Ugh.
It's terrible, like a bladder infection that's itchy. I've had both unfortunately, but would take a yeast infection over BV any day. It was like a hot poker being shoved up there. I got it from having a bubble bath.
Oh no.
That's awful. It's been so many years since I had BV, I don't remember it, but I do remember the yeast infection and crying because I was so frustrated. BV smells like a dead, bloated animal is hiding in your panties as soon as you pull them down, at least for me. And the itching.
Oh.
The itching. I can't stop laughing at this. It sounds horrible, but that explanation is too vivid. The more you know, Rainbow. God, yes, it's horrid. That is not a smell I will ever forget. Face vomiting. I agree. I've had BV, and the smell is really noticeable. I'm not sure how someone could have it and not notice themselves that they smell different. It's like dead fish. I've been there. Years ago when I was in grad school, I noticed that I had something going on down there. I went to the university clinic and told the doctor that I had a smell. She goes in with the giant swab and she comes back and says, "I don't even have to test this. I can tell by the smell what it is." I was absolutely mortified. Showering doesn't help, but a quick search online will tell you what to do to get back to normal. As hard as it is, it's best to tell your partner if something seems different or you notice a change. I'm sure Op's girlfriend is just super embarrassed and lashed out. He did the right thing, even though he may never hear from her again. Hopefully she gets it treated. I had like 4 to 5 reoccurring yeast infections over a 2-month period this year, and it was so awful. OTC stuff that had previously worked stopped working, so I got a prescription, which worked and then came back a month later and they refused to refill it without coming in. I have really bad anxiety around medical billing and symptoms, so it made it so much worse. It was so bad and anxiety-inducing. I definitely cried a lot. I used to have recurring yeast infections. My doctor recommended switching to fragrance-free laundry products and Vanicream body wash. The latter is also fragrance-free. I haven't had a yeast infection in 7 to 8 years. And partner also needs treatment for BV. No, but she should definitely be aware that it's a thing, and she's almost 30 years old, and calling him disgusting for noticing is a bit mean. He's not disgusting at all. He was very kind, and these are things that she should already be aware of. Calling him disgusting is mean and immature.
Yes.
Thank you for saying this. Anything can easily throw off her balance and sex. A new guy. Maybe in a new place, showering different products than usual, any of that. I totally understand your side. OP, and honestly I would hope that my BF, or whoever, would tell me if things are different down there. Next time, even though it's awkward to bring up no matter what, maybe choose different wording? Like, hey, babe, your pheromones, I've noticed, have changed from the other day, and I've heard that can happen if girls aren't feeling well, so I wanted to check in and see how you're feeling with everything. It kinda is a less direct way of asking her if she's okay, and gives her a gentle opportunity to have a convo. God, reading all of that makes me kinda glad I don't have a vagina. They sound like they need more maintenance than a high-end sports car. It's basically like having a tropical fish tank in your undies. The she got dressed part kills me. So, you told her this while she was naked and feeling extra vulnerable? Bro, bad timing. Of course she's hurt. Either you derailed sex to say this, or you told her immediately afterwards. After is actually worse. I think critique does not belong in the afterglow period. Bro, I generally think NTA, but this is a great point and makes it borderline. Good catch. Definitely not the right time. I can't even imagine. He might thrown her pH off. That was my first thought. He probably threw her balance off. Yep, I agree. And then I read the she got dressed a line. Not only was it bad timing, he probably caused the odor. Big fucking oof right there. Guys / some girls don't seem to understand that sex actually causes women to have a smell. If you guys aren't using condoms, it's gonna continue to be unbalanced pH levels. Even with condoms. If he doesn't brush his teeth, if he doesn't wash his hands right before, can cause imbalance. God damn, as a guy definitely learning something new in this thread that I never would have thought of. Knew drinking too much water could screw up your body's system, but never would have thought about pH levels for specifically there. So many things. It's often sex and specifically semen that throws off pH. Men have also been found to spread BV to multiple partners because they don't go get treated like women typically do. I smell a breakup in OP's future. I was thinking the same thing. OP's timing was impeccable.
Oh.
Good catch. Def not good timing.
Yeah.
The smell wasn't bad enough to put him off of having sex first. Shaking my head. Don't take people's reactions when they're embarrassed or shocked personally. She wasn't aware. And you just dropped a huge anxiety bomb on her that everybody around her has been smelling her for a while and nobody mentioned anything, so she lashed out. As long as she acknowledges that it wasn't cool of her to do that once she's had a chance to calm down, she's probably golden. Oh, she's aware. She's just probably dealing with the realization that other people are aware / have been aware. And you seemingly told her that while she was still undressed post-sex? This is the funniest part of the whole thing. Hey, thanks for the bone sesh. By the way, P.
Ew.
Am I right?
Yeah.
But tell her that you are trying to be gentle and just bringing this up as a medical thing. It could be a bout of bacterial vaginosis. If BV, it means he could have given it to her. I would want someone to tell me if I smelled bad. Just saying.
Yeah.
She may have an infection. She needs a doctor ASAP. By the way, you are not a bad guy for noticing. Boyfriends and husbands are often the first to notice. It is sort of their job, which they happily do. Sometimes female infections have no symptoms until it is too late for the easier treatments. Good on you for noticing and for saying something. You may have saved her fertility. Next, the hygiene factor. Aside from washing thoroughly down there, be careful of dirty penises. Hands, fingers, mouths, both of you. We stick things on and in ourselves that compromise normal vaginal health. NTAH, quite the opposite. Hey, I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but I've noticed a bit of a smell lately. Maybe it could be something medical. I just thought you should know. NTA. If you expressed it as you said here, it's respectful and just a concern. It could honestly be anything. From a new soap she's using that messed up her pH to an infection, but I think most women would want to know, especially since it wasn't there before.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking too. It could be something really simple like a reaction to a new product or temporary imbalance. I didn't mean it as an insult at all, just genuine concern since it wasn't an issue before. I think you handled it very well, but as another commenter said, maybe do it not when still naked in bed next time, wait till breakfast. Honey, would you like some more quiche? By the way, your vagina has a real foul odor. Got dressed. Meaning you said this was she was naked? Had you just been intimate? A less vulnerable time would have been more effective. English second language, right? The words may have been gentle, but in such a vulnerable state, it would have felt like a slap to the face. My husband was the first to feel/find the lump in my breast. It turned out to be nothing. Thank goodness. He gladly does my weekly breast exams for me. I got in trouble in nursing school by an old nursing professor who got mad when I suggested that male partners could find a breast lump. This was 30 years ago, though. He's an idiot. My partner spends more time on them than I do, so he's in a perfect position to tell if anything has changed. I obviously never want to hear it, but it could literally save my life. There's no good way to say this. I think you did fine. I'm sorry she reacted this way. A good relationship requires conflict resolution and being able to communicate. If she reacts like that to your genuine concern, imagine how more serious conflicts might turn out. If you really worded it like that, NTA, it can be a health issue, and it's a good thing if a couple can talk about this. ETA, I hope it got dressed doesn't mean you were just being intimate, but that she was grabbing her jacket or something. Timing is important here. Such conversations should be removed as far from the situation as possible. She got dressed. Are you telling me you told her before, during, or after the act? Dude, thanks for the sex. By the way, your pussy stinks.
Yeah.
As a woman, I'd be appreciative of the heads up. I've had 2 yeast infections but didn't have any symptoms for either one, so I didn't get them treated until I was visiting the doctor for something unrelated. If I smelled different and didn't notice, I'd want to be told. Also, as a woman, if a man said that to me while we were being intimate, I would definitely not be super happy. Even if he is as gentle as he could be. That's embarrassing. Believe it or not, it might be you. If you're not using a condom, your ejaculate can cause that issue. The pH difference between her vagina and your semen is quite radical and throws off the natural balance in the vagina. Try wearing a condom or pulling out, if you're not already. At any rate, if this is the case, you can place the blame on you, which might make her feel better. This 1000%. I'm surprised I had to scroll this far to find this comment. As a woman, I can confirm the cocktail of 2 people's juices get funky for about a day or 2 after. And yes, she's still dealing with the aftermath, sometimes days after, and yes, she's embarrassed about it. So if you're having more frequent sleepovers and extended stays, that would explain a more frequent funk. Also, clean your junk, hands, and mouth, *swish mouthwash, before sex/oral, and never play with the back door and then the front door without washing in between. Because you may be introducing bacteria to her lady bits that will cause BV, UTI, and/or yeast infection. Then future sessions would just pass that stuff back and forth between her and you, and that's so annoying to clear up. Best of luck, OP. *edit, with a helpful reminder from Miami_Mice 2087. I've changed my at least mouthwash to a more definitive Swish mouthwash. Do not brush your teeth immediately before oral sex, because it can cause tiny cuts and abrasions in your gums, creating entry points for bacteria and viruses in bodily fluids. The cocktail of 2 people's juices was not on my Reddit lingo bingo for the day. This 1000000%%. Also, if it's a fishy odor, it's typically BV, and men oftentimes are carriers. She should get tested for that. So should you, or it'll keep coming back if you remain untreated. I was going to say something similar. A partner's semen, especially a fairly new partner, can definitely interact with vaginal flora and wreak havoc. OP doesn't seem to reply to the comments insinuating it could be him. That tells me a lot. You/OK_produce 885. You have to take the rough with the smooth, fella. You're here for validation, but you should be here for help, too. It's not always easy, but if you want to make amends, then you have to accept all viewpoints equally, mate. I love how dudes forget they're sticking their dicks in someone, and if they aren't properly taking care of themselves, it can cause issues. Really care about your partner's vaginal health? Shower before you get into it. Shower after. Good hygiene anyways if you're doing it right and building up a sweat. Info. You mentioned she got dressed before she left. Were you in bed? Were you just intimate or about to get intimate? Timing can really play a role here too. It was after intimacy, according to OP, which is still terrible timing. It's horrible, especially BC. She would not have agreed to fuck him had she known. He had weeks to tell her, but needed to make sure to fuck her before potentially having his pussy tap run out. You told her in bed? Terrible idea. Hindsight being 2020. If anyone reading this ever finds themselves in a similar situation with a woman you're involved with, ask another woman for advice, not another man. And don't do it right after being intimate like OP did. Shaking my head. Hey, I work at a sexual health clinic, and heads up, You may be the issue. Genuinely not trying to be a jerk, it's something that happens a lot. Make sure you are thoroughly washing your privates with soap. If you aren't already. Often if a woman has recurring BV or yeast infections, and nothing else has changed but her partner, then it's often that he has some bacterial stuff going on and keeps reinfecting her. Exactly. Trick 2. They both need to get checked. She got dressed after you told her. Sounds like your timing was pretty bad. Oh, I missed that part. I hope OP meant put her coat on because
Yeah.
timing is everything. No, they were, I bet. OP confirmed in a comment. Can't believe I'm writing this. Alrighty, here we go. A lot of times, at least in my own experience, my body changes when I have a new partner/enter a sexual relationship. It always sorts itself out, but you're over there putting your junk and spunk or latex in a very sensitive area. Sensitive to pH changes, just, well, more sensitive than this poor girl's feelings. This may also concern your own bits. If your hygiene isn't immaculate, you'll throw her off completely. I take lots of baths because that is what I need to feel clean, but not everyone has access to one. I hadn't been intimate with my fiancé in a while and honestly, one of my first thoughts was I should prepare for the inevitable yeast infection. It really is a joy to be a woman sometimes. You're NTA for bringing it up. I'm certain everyone can smell their own junk funk before anyone else can, unless it was just when your face was down there. If it was really uncommonly bad, she prob knew but maybe didn't know how to fix it. I am certain she will get herself balanced out now, especially if there's no sex. A vagina shouldn't smell bad, but it shouldn't smell like flowers either, and I think too many men expect exactly that. That being said, timing is everything, so I hope you were far removed from the bedroom when you brought this up. It is definitely a crushing blow to a newly developing relationship, so how you brought it up is everything. I dealt with this for the first time with my current partner. Every single time we had sex my pH was thrown off. I don't really know why, but I assumed our pH were just too far off from each other's. Ick though. It was embarrassing and really messed with my head. Like, is my body rejecting him? We would shower before and after. Try different soaps, different diets. Made sure he stopped lotioning around that area, really thought it was that. Went to the DR, etc. It took about 6 to 8 months and a few boric acid treatments, but it did just stop eventually. OP, NTA, for how you brought it up, though I'm not yet clear on your timing. Hopefully she'll reach out soon and you two can figure it out. Notice how OP hasn't really responded to the questions about when he said it. During or after an intimate moment makes YTA. Women already feel vulnerable naked. You really brought it up when she didn't have pants on? Please. Learn some sensitivity, my man. I'm confused how you asked a close friend about it without giving details about her identity. Does your close friend not know who your GF is? I got stuck on this, too. OP, what did you mean? I would be so angry if my BF talked about my personal stuff like that to his friends. My ex actually likely did, although I don't know for a fact and I am not aware of any smells I had during our relationship, but am a little hung up on it, probably because I'm self-conscious about everything after the breakup. But she got dressed, bro. Terrible timing. NGL, there's a good possibility this issue is being caused by you, your penis. Are you washing yourself appropriately and often? Why did you have sex if she smelled off? It's so weird to use someone's body to orgasm and then complain about them. Just stop the sex when you notice the funk. I'm noticing OP seems to be avoiding the question of if he told her this info while they were being intimate or about to be intimate, which makes me think he did. If that's the case, YTA, because timing is everything with this kind of conversation, and you should have done it when you both had clothes on. NTA. Also get yourself checked out. Many times women get reoccurring BV, bacterial vaginosis, infections because their partner has it. Men almost never have any symptoms from BV, so it gets shared easily. Dude, you couldn't wait to bring it up until a time when you weren't naked together? YTA for that. I don't think she was wrong for being upset if your timing was a factor. It's better for any kind of relationship if you proceed with the knowledge that feelings are valid, whether you think they're reasonable or not. You'd want your feelings considered if she said something that hurt you, regardless of her intent. There are practical reasons to inform her, but realistically I would feel like shit hearing that. It's very personal and we've all heard lots of vulgar jokes making fun of such smells. I'm not surprised she felt self-conscious and defensive. You definitely should not have told her while she was undressed. I assume you at least did not tell her during a sexual act, but while undressed is still a more intimate and vulnerable time to bring up such a sensitive topic. I also think it would be better to more clearly emphasize that this was a change and, noticed lately, it could be ambiguous. The idea of you didn't always have this smell, so the change is a good reason to look into it medically is way better than you always smelled bad but I didn't notice or didn't bring it up until now. But I'm not sure if you clearly conveyed it's the first one. NTA, but you might have caused it if you aren't washing your member before sex. 'Cause a dirty dick can cause BV. You said it while she was naked and about to fuck. NTA, but you're kinda dumb. YTA for telling her that after she got undressed. NTA, but there are a few ways you could have done this better. I'm not telling you that to make you feel bad, your intentions were good and you did a lot of things right here. But I want you to know what to do next time because if you intend to be intimate with people who have vaginas in the future, it very well may happen again. As others have pointed out, telling her when she was naked in bed wasn't a great setting for this. That is an already vulnerable situation for her. Next time I would try to do it in a space she feels most comfortable in and least vulnerable. I would avoid using the word smell, as it can be triggering. Instead you could say that you noticed a change that has persisted. Mention that you know it's not a cleanliness thing and could be just an imbalance. Make sure she knows it hasn't changed your experience with her, it just makes you concerned about her health. Unfortunately, women are shamed a lot for things related to this, so no matter how nicely you put it, she may still get upset. Do whatever you can to avoid getting defensive back at her, that will just make it worse. In this situation, I would probably try to reach out to her and apologize for the bad timing and for the potentially not great wording. Even when we have good intentions, it's best to apologize if we know someone was hurt. I hope things work out for you. Your honesty is a huge benefit to you for future relationships. So please don't let this deter you from being honest, with kindness, in the future. BV is now confirmed to be sexually transmitted and bad hygiene on the partner's part can often contribute or be the cause of this sort of thing, so OP you'd better also check yourself. Framing is everything. Maybe I noticed you smell different and wanted to let you know because it could be a health issue. Not I notice you stink. YTA because I had to scroll through so many comments that asked, when exactly did you tell her, and you were avoiding answering on purpose. You told her right after you two were intimate, so yes, YTA. Not for your wording and not for speaking up, but for your choice of timing, dude. YTA for apparently telling her just after sex, or at least while you were undressed and, presumably, still in bed. That's definitely a clothes-on conversation. And maybe leading with, I've noticed a bit of a smell, wasn't the most sensitive language. I mean, why not lead with the, I'm concerned you might have a yeast infection, bit up front. Honestly, asking your dude, friend for advice was a shit dumb idea. Why didn't you ask an actual woman how she would best respond to something like this? Do you have no sisters? Female friends? Anything like that? Not to mention the fact that there is every chance that you are part of the problem, especially if you're not using condoms. Male partners can introduce some really weird bacteria and throw off a woman's natural pH. You should be wearing condoms and should probably both get tested for STIs, and she should see her PCP. Look, you're NTA for mentioning it, but you say she got dressed and left. Had you been intimate immediately prior to telling her? If so, your timing sucks. To be fair, something happened to me a long time ago when I was in my early 20s. I'd just been intimate with a guy I'd started seeing. I was at his place, late one night, miles from home. After we'd slept together, he goes all strange on me, and opens a drawer, and pulls out a photo of a very slim girl. I am not slim. I'm fat. I am sitting there, naked, in his bed. He shows me the photo, and tells me that this is the sort of woman he is into. The photo was his ex-girlfriend. He told me that he had just slept with me because he wanted to see if he could look past my fatness, but he realized he couldn't. I don't have an issue with somebody not wanting to date a fat girl. That's fine. We all have preferences, but it was the way he did it. This was 22 years ago. I've been happily married for 10 years to my lovely husband, but what that guy did to me all those years ago will always stay with me, and it still upsets me a bit to think about.
Yeah.
Pretty much the not to be this person, but I'm going to be. Because it's a fact that any OBGYN will agree with. If she didn't have this weird unpleasant smell when y'all started dating, and suddenly does, there is a very high chance that it's actually you causing the imbalance. BV, bacterial vaginosis, which is a bacterial imbalance, is almost exclusively caused by sexual intercourse. So maybe you should clock your own hygiene first. Do you wash yourself thoroughly and regularly? Do you have sex after you've been out sweating or at the gym? Do you use scented soaps? Edit. Also, why in God's name would you ask another guy about a female anatomy and health issue? What advice does that possibly offer? Do you brush your teeth and wash your hands/dick often/properly? Straight men have been known to throw off a woman's pH balance with their dirty ass bodies and then tell women they stink. It could be you, bud. Edit to clarify, having sex after dinner without brushing your teeth and washing your hands is included in this. Being outside doing things and touching handrails and doorknobs and not washing your hands before sex is also included in this. Vaginas are very sensitive creatures. Her reaction is completely valid. But NTABC, it's important to know so something can be done about it. You did the right thing waiting until you were alone, but you said she got dressed. I hope you mean put her coat on, BC, if you told her right before you were hoping to get some. You're a jackass. Men are often the ones causing these infections for us like BV though. So don't only police her habits. You should be reflecting on your own as well. Men don't realize how much they can throw off our pH balance. It might not even be her fault. It could very well be your hygiene causing this. Clean your penis, maybe it's your fault. Women can get bacterial vaginosis from the dude's penis flora. If she gets via KED, you should get checked too. YTA. So she was naked? Did you fuck her and then immediately tell her she smelled bad?
Yeah.
I'd be pissed too. She probably felt extremely vulnerable at that moment. YTA, further down in the comments, OP admits that she was naked and that his timing could have been better. Understatement of the year. Telling a woman something like that when they are naked, or even partially naked, is an move. Please reflect on your own hygiene since the penis contributes majorly to things like BV. I don't mind a man telling me if he notices a problem, since chances are he caused it. NTA, but I'm not sure how a person is supposed to take it. Hey, your junk smells is a message that can't really be given in a way that most people would take well. In my opinion, you should not have said anything. She's got a nose. She knows her body. If she wants to go to a DR, she can. Maybe she already knows what's the cause and it's not something she can help. Now what is she supposed to do? She's going to feel self-conscious every time she's with someone now. You said she got dressed. Did you bring it up during sex? NTJ, but maybe the timing was the problem. NTA, you would complain if the food is spoiled at the restaurant. Same idea. My girlfriend and I have a pact that if it start getting smelly, then say something. Ask what she would do if you started smelling down there as well. NTA, but please go get tested ASAP because if it's an infection of some sort, you could have caught it. Men can carry things without symptom and end up sterile from it. Trichomonas can do that silently for men while women can experience the symptoms you described. Sounds like BV bit. You should never discuss that with anyone but her. That's breach of trust and I'd leave you. YTA for waiting until getting undressed and in bed again to tell her. That's a full clothes conversation. NTA. Some sexually transmitted diseases have an odor. You may want to get yourself checked as well. Bacterial vaginosis and yeast infections also have an odor and are extremely common conditions. I don't think he should assume she's cheating. Info. Did you tell her while she was naked or shortly before / after you had sex or went down on her? Timing is everything. If you just had sex and told her YTA, if you were about to have sex and stopped and told her YTA, if you were in your PJs in the living room watching a movie and you worded it just the way you said you did.
Nah.
It's such a sensitive topic. How and when is very important. She was bound to be a little upset and embarrassed, regardless of when / how you told her, and her reaction isn't that surprising. Whoever your friend was, really should have told you the potential for this to go sideways and that you needed to handle the topic very carefully. It's BV, bacterial vaginosis. You probably gave it to her TBH. Some chemistry just doesn't align, but she can get OTC pH balance pills she'll stick up there and be golden in like 2 days. No worries. Well, when she didn't smell before you and now she is only with you, it's because of you. You gave her an imbalance, probably due to different pH or harsh shower gel. If you're sexually active with each other and this wasn't happening before, then you're likely to be the cause. This sounds like BV, bacteria vaginosis, an infection commonly transmitted during sexual intercourse. Perhaps you could reach out to her and suggest that you both get medically checked. Totally not the asshole at all. As a female, I would hope to God my man tells me if he notices anything weird. We just recently went to Hawaii and from being in a wet bathing suit I contracted a yeast infection. BC, I'm extremely prone to them. He brought it up, I immediately went and got it checked out and moved on. If anything, it shows you care about her and her health. Yeah, we had a convo once about smell. Came to a good agreement of a simple, nice statement that we use as my fiance is prone to imbalances etc. Now, it's, hey, babe, you might have an imbalance going on and there's no embarrassment, shame or awkwardness. That was her idea too. It started when she asked me if I thought she smelled once. I explained how I was trying to figure out how to say it nicely. And that's where we landed. 5 years together and going strong. Clarification needed. This is a persistent smell you are noticing even after she were to shower, or you only notice it after you have had intercourse and perhaps taken a break. Did you bring it up when you were having sex? 'Cause if so, yes, you are definitely the ass. Hopefully you brought it up at a less vulnerable time.